I'm back. I'm back with more from The Alchemist, and I'm going to do a little bit of a, well, not really a change, but I'm going to start incorporating my journey as an entrepreneur into my talk about The Alchemist. I'm not sure how this is going to flow, but bear with me. Today's quote is a little bit further in the book. We're on page 25, still not very far, I'm on page 24. And this is the quote, which is a very familiar quote from the book. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. I want to talk for a little bit about the wanting. And the wanting of the soul, really. And spend a few minutes. This one may be longer than my usual YouTube videos, and I apologize for that. Maybe I'll be wrong, maybe it won't be. But I don't know if you guys know, you probably don't, but when I first started this entrepreneurial journey, I was a full-time employee. I had spent decades in my career in commercial real estate and really getting to the top and achieving the dream that I had. And the dream that I had in corporate real estate, I was in property management, commercial property management, and I wanted to one day, that is too bright, I'm going to change the lighting. How about that? I want to lead a department. I wanted to be the person who ran the property management department. That was my goal. And I did achieve that goal. It was a long, hard-fought thing to do. Commercial real estate, as most real estate, is a very much white male-dominated space. So getting to the top of your game is a hard-fought journey. Maybe I'll do a series one day on what it's like being a black woman in those spaces. Many black women talk about these things. All of our stories have similarities and through lines as I talk to these women. But they're all also unique because we are all unique. I started my journey because, well, honestly, I've wanted to be an entrepreneur my entire life. When I was younger, I was like, I think I want to have a sports bar. My maiden name is Ware. I was like, it'll be called Sportswear, kind of play on my name, which is interesting now because I am divorced, but my married last name is Day. So, Lovely Days. So it's not a stretch that I would use my last name in my business. And it started because 2020, when everything shut down, I thought my job was in jeopardy. A lot of things were happening. Even though I worked my way into a senior role, I was a very valuable employee in the company, I was still very nervous and it wasn't looking good for me. The good news is because I was a valuable employee, even when my new role at the time as chief of staff wasn't really needed, they found ways to keep me around, and I stayed for several years after that. With that said, I also learned a lot. There were things that were said to me during that time that were highly offensive, and I realized this is not a place I can be long term. The first Trump administration allowed many of us to see people differently, for better or for worse. And so I looked at a lot of different options. I looked at different franchise opportunities and whatnot, and as I dug into the franchise opportunities, I really got this spark of wow, I really want to showcase women in business. Whatever I'm doing, this is what I want to do. And I was talking to this one franchisor, and I was really into what it was. It was a women's boxing gym, and I loved their mission, what they were doing, but they would not allow me to have kind of a space in the front to highlight local women-owned businesses, which is what I really wanted to do. And I was like, oh, it's really not mine. I mean, it's a franchise, right? And I was like, it's really not mine. And so I knew that wasn't the direction I was going to go in. But I felt the pull then, I want to be somehow involved with women in business. What does that look like? And to be honest with you, a through line of my career was helping women. By the time I left corporate America, I had, over the years, hired many women. I hired many women of color. I was very proud of the fact that when I left that company, I had the most diverse department the company ever had. Because, hello, I am diversity. And I hire based on merit. Anyway, whole other story. The point is, I realized, not at the time, but I realized more recently that this has been a through line in my career from when I was in the lower rungs to the higher rungs, that I've always embraced women I've worked with, supported women I've worked with, and done my best to help them achieve and grow. And whether it's in friendships or in the business world. So one day, I don't have a real story behind this, except I decided I want to do gifting. I was like, I'm going to do gifting. I'm going to highlight women-owned small businesses in the gift world. And so that's what I did. And I really enjoyed it for a while. But as it started to scale and as I started to see the direction it was going to go, I was like, this is not what I want to do with my life. I can see where it was going. It was growing pretty rapidly, honestly. I started getting corporate accounts, getting larger orders, getting regular orders, and things were going really well, but it's not what I wanted. One thing about having a plan and working it is you can see the direction you're headed. And I already left my corporate job at this time, and I was not going to leave a job that was making me unhappy to have a business for myself that was not making me happy. And I got a lot of opportunities through networking that allowed me to start to work with women, talk to women, see what the needs were, and realize I can help. And I started helping people just kind of like online. Random people I would meet. And next thing you know, the collective is born. And that's what I'm doing now. So now what I do is I support women by helping them achieve their goals. I help them figure out what their goals are. More, I help them refine their goals and then make a plan to achieve them. Back to where I am. Back to the Alchemist. I know what I want. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. It's not about money. We all want to be rich. We all want to be wealthy. I don't know anybody who does not want to have financial security and financial freedom. And I just don't see that happening. Even if financial freedom for you means not making a ton of money, means living a certain way somewhere else. But we want that. But what I also want is to be in community. What I also want is to help women thrive. That sparks so much joy in me. When I am in community with women, I leave fulfilled every single time. And what I have learned is that once I realized what I really wanted, now mind you, with the gifting business, things are happening around me to just make it work. Literally, clients were falling into my lap. I could be on a walk, walking my dog, run into somebody who is a senior person high up in a major company who was like catching up with me and was like, oh my God, I need your services. And boom, I have a major corporate client. So it just started happening that way. And then as I shifted into this new space, alignment happens. All the universe is conspiring to help me get where I want to go. I joined this women's group. Next thing I know, I'm invited to speak to a room of 40 women talking about goal setting and achieving. A woman I've known for a couple of years very loosely. All of a sudden, I'm booking things all the way into 2026. This is what happens. Things start to come. People I've met before, I'm getting invited to speak in podcasts, invited to contribute to magazine articles based on connections. And it's all happening because I know what I want in my heart and my soul. I know what my desire is. And with that, as the universe helps me, I'm also helping myself. I am working my plan. I am focused. My steps are intentional. I am making sure that whatever I'm doing with regard to my business is aligned. The whole world conspires. It's working out for me. And when that happens, it grows my faith. I believe in what I'm doing, and my faith is expanding because every step I take gets me closer and I can see it. I take the time to stop and recognize, stop and be grateful, stop and practice gratitude. I celebrate every single win. Not every win is monetary. I celebrate if someone shows interest in my business. They just want to have a conversation. That means I'm reaching somebody. I celebrate comments in my feed. I celebrate when I see somebody out in the wild and they say, hey, Terry, I see what you're doing. It's really cool. You inspire me. It fills my soul. And it's going to happen for me. I know it is because what I'm doing is not just for me. And selfishly, me helping others helps me. I feel good when I serve others. So there's this episode of The Alchemist. I hope you enjoyed it.